All right, so this is from Rand Romaine. He's asking Jimmy if you got surgery or if the rehab was just right out, like day one after the injury.
Yeah, so I didn't get any surgery, and my mindset from basically day one was that I wasn't going to get it because I thought about what potential what could happen if I did get surgery and had to deal with the repercussions that could happen if the surgery didn't go well or what have you. And I had been just so deep down the rabbit hole of knees over toes and Ben Patrick. I was like, well, the main thing that we preach here is that you can rehab yourself if you apply these principles and concepts. So that's literally where I started. And I talked about it yesterday. I started with literally a backwards walk with my knee brace on, like limping, like struggling real hard, doing very, very, very partial range squats, doing everything that he basically preaches in a regress version. Now, through that process, I also learned a lot from various friends such as Phil DeRue and Luke Lewis that helped me on the on other ends of the rehab spectrum, banded stuff, isometric stuff. But the biggest thing that I would take away from my rehab was give yourself the chance to even see if you can rehab it yourself. You know, if you can't put any pressure down on your knee and you just collapse right away, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I reference somebody like Nicky Ryan who, you know, has, I don't think he's done too much to repair or even rehab his knee, rather, you know, with that stuff. But he's still able to wrestle and perform at a very high level, at least based upon the videos that I'm seeing. Spencer Lee, same way. If you don't know who he is, definitely look him up. His excuses are for wusses is one of my favorite sayings, but he won the NCAA national championship with no ACLs, like period, you know? So it's like, do situations require surgery? Sure. But like, where is that line? I'm not sure if anyone really knows what that is, because there's people like Spencer Lee that have done all this, and, you know, I did something relatively okay, right? And, you know, with that said, I don't know where that line is. I don't know if anyone does, but I say at least give yourself a chance to see if it's worth pushing for without surgery. Yeah.
To add a small thing onto that, Mark Bell, who's the host of this podcast, Andrew, what was the weight that he fell underneath?
1,085.
He fell under 1,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like 1,085, and he blew his knee to pieces. Mm-hmm. He didn't get surgery. He slowly rehabbed it.
Did he really?
He didn't get surgery.
I did not.
No, he didn't get surgery on that shit. But he blew that shit apart.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. We're not saying don't get surgery, because I had a meniscus tear and I had a partial removal. It was helpful. I rehabbed that pretty quickly. But many people do rehab exercises, do some of Ben Patrick stuff, do some of the stuff you're talking about. And if they give themselves time, they're sometimes able to go without having to go under the knife. That doesn't mean going under the knife is bad. And each individual situation is different. Mm-hmm. But just understand that it's not the only option you have. And just because a doctor may say you have to get surgery, that doesn't mean you have to get surgery. Mm-hmm. Anything you have in mind?
Nope. You guys covered it.
All right.
Perfect.